Green Bay, again, I just believe they will take a step back.
I think they were on the precipice of collapsing.
Time's up. The only thing you could argue the Packers have on the Detroit Lions would be the quarterback in the backfield. The Lions check all the boxes.
But that quarterback can make wide receivers better. Is Jared Goff going to make those guys better players? The answer is probably no.
The answer is no. I will guarantee right now the Lions will not finish last in the division.
If they do, you have to shave your head.
Deal.
All right.
The Lions are ranked 20th in Peter King's latest power rankings, which I found very interesting. NFL.com has them at 30, ESPN at 31, CBS at 27. Peter King coming out with the Lions at 20. That is a significant gap in opinions on this football team. And if I'm honest with you, which, I like to think I for the most part, am.
For the most part.
I know
still
some
learning.
things. What I would say is I'm going to lean on the side of Peter King. I think this is a team that is young, full of young talent, on the rise, not ready to compete, not ready to contend. We talk about this with the Pistons. A young team, you have to build towards being a contender. That's a 3-4 year window, even though basketball is totally different. You can't really revamp over 1 year unless you just spend it all out in free agency and bring superstars to town, which the Pistons can't do. But the point is, it's a young, up-and-coming, talented roster out in Detroit. You've now added Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Pascal, Jamison Williams, just with your first 3 picks. You then get arguably one of the highest graded safeties in the draft at pick 97 in Kirby Joseph. That doesn't include the free agent signings prior. That doesn't include the player development that you had last year with Amani Owarie. You'd like to see Jeff Okudah, who, let's just be honest, it's been a bust pick.
I'm not counting on him.
It is just a bust pick, given he was taken at 3. Now, if he comes on to this team this year and he has a good season, good. You can consider him like a first-round pick, quote unquote. But at the end of the day,
don't trust him.
You're not going to rely on Jeff Okudah to do much for you unless he's healthy. And even if he's healthy, is he going to continue to get beat or is he going to develop? This we'll have to wait and see.
The only thing I saw him do well when he did play and was healthy, he played the run well.
Oh, he could tackle in the open field.
Yeah, he'd bust your head open. But,
absolutely.
If you could pass any which way you wanted against him. So I'm not counting on him.
Okay.
If he plays and he plays well, to me that's called gravy.
All right. What I'll say on top of the fact that the Lions are ranked 20th, I think a big part of it too is, Terry, before the season we do a lot of projections, how we expect the team to do. How do we expect X team, for example, the Chargers are second on this list, right? They're expected to be Super Bowl contenders. And you're projecting what? Justin Herbert to grow, Brandon Staley to grow.
Right.
And again, I look at the Detroit Lions. I may not like the quarterback. I don't have to like the quarterback, but the quarterback is good enough. You can win with average in this league, and that's based on having the right head coach and a roster full of talent. I think the Lions have done a good job adding talent. Granted, it's young talent, but it's still talent at the end of the day. Now, are they all going to hit? My best bet.
Well, here's the thing you have to watch out for. Whenever you bring up the talent and say that these guys can play well, normally they're rookies. We don't know how rookies are going to react. They could come in and okay, I'm the king here, or
hit or miss.
They could be rookies. But we could see the growth in the second, third, fourth year.
And that's important, right? You have Levi and Aleem on the defensive line on the interior going into year 2. Aiden Hutchinson, Pascal on the edges going into their rookie season. Jamison Williams injured going into his rookie year. DJ Chark brought in as a free agent. St. Brown going into his second year. Hawkinson returning from injury. DeAndre Swift returning from an injury. A lot of variables go into play with this team, which is why I understand the hesitation. But from a talent standpoint, it is arguably the second most talented offensive team in the NFC North. I think Minnesota's the clear one. And the only thing you could argue the Packers have on the Detroit Lions would be the quarterback in the backfield. But offensive line, tight end, wide receivers, the Lions check all the boxes.
But that quarterback can make wide receivers better. So
Yes, but from a
I'm little
talent
hesitant.
standpoint,
Right,
right?
but
Because Aaron Rodgers, yes, can make everybody around him better, but it's not about who can make. It's not just about the position and its value. It's about who's lining up at certain positions. And would I prefer Sammy Watkins, Christian Watson, Robert Tunyon, or T.J. Hawkinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, or D.J. Chark? I think that
I
is.
hear what you're saying, but hear what I'm saying. Yes, those guys on the lines might be more talented, but is Jared Goff going to make those guys better players? The answer is probably no.
The answer is no.
And is Aaron Rodgers going to make those guys better players? Chances are yes.
Chances are yes, to be determined, given
because they had so much turmoil that guys could revolt on them.
I truly believe the Packers will have a down season. Granted, they've won 13 games every year. Matt LaFleur has been their head coach. I think this is the year they take a step back. It could be 9-8 wins possibly. I don't see this being a 5-4, 3-win team. They're not going to collapse that hard unless Aaron Rodgers just leaves in September, goes and does Jeopardy, and Matt LaFleur resigns.
Right.
Which isn't happening.
Which, by the way, that could have happened last year if the Lions had beaten the Packers earlier in the season. But that didn't happen. I think they were on the precipice of collapsing.
Really? I don't know about that. They have such a good defense. They have such a talented defense.
But you put doubts in their mind if they lose to the Lions early in the season, the Lions who are a bad football team, I think that could have added some doubts to that team, and you could have flushed them out of the NFC North, but it didn't happen.
Well, you know what? The division is open this year. I think it's Minnesota's division to win. I think Green Bay, again, I just believe they will take a step back. This is a team that's won 13 games for 3 consecutive years. Time's up.
If they win 10 games, is that the end of the world?
Not the end of the world. I would be disappointed. And I would be disappointed not in the coaching, not in the roster. I would be disappointed in the front office because you replace Devontae Adams with Sammy Watkins, who's never available, and a rookie wide receiver who is not Jamar Chase.
Right, but that front office has been bad for
the longest
4 or 5 years at least.
Yeah, but they've had Aaron Rodgers to supplement it, right? And they hit on Devontae Adams in the second round. So, their problem is keeping and building talent around Aaron. They've always, for example, everybody kills them for the Jordan Love move. Fine, all right, I can agree with that. They could have had an all-pro center. They could have had an all-pro linebacker. Instead, they chose to do nothing and get a backup quarterback who was not going to play for 2 years.
Your quarterback, who you're supposed to have a business relationship, you could have got him an all-pro wide receiver because that's what he wanted. And sometimes I know the thinking is, forget these players. I'm running the damn ship. I'll tell them what he's going to get. Sometimes you got to say, hey, look, this is not my employee. We're in a business relationship with Aaron Rodgers. He wants a wide receiver. Guess what? I'm drafting one. I'm getting him what he wants.
I agree with that.
Because he's more important than me.
And I believe that failure from Green Bay is what will ultimately lead to their eventual downfall. And, people forget this, Terry. With the Green Bay Packers, they transitioned from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. I don't recall a team ever going from a Hall of Fame quarterback to a Hall of Fame quarterback ever outside of what? Young and Montana?
And Montana, right.
That has never happened. So, a lot of things go into, well, the Packers have dominated the last 2 decades. Well, yeah, you give me 2 franchise quarterbacks back-to-back, I'll dominate the last 2 decades. And I think the big issue also is the NFC North has been that bad, right? The Lions have sucked for 20, 30, 40 years, 58 years to be exact.
And by the way, they've finished last in the division the last 4 years.
Yep. Well, I will guarantee right now, the Lions will not finish last in the division.
Okay. If they do, you have to shave your head.
Deal.
All right.
Chicago Bears will have the worst.
Did everybody hear that? Adam has to shave his head if the Lions finish last this year.
I don't see them finishing last in the division. No chance. No chance.
I think
the
he's
Bears,
still going to be coiffed.
Here, guys, let me explain to you this. What the Bears are doing is what the Lions always used to do, right? You have a up-and-coming franchise quarterback that you drafted that you supposedly believe in. And what do? You go bring in a defensive coordinator out of Indianapolis. You dumb fucks. 10 out of 10. You had no wide receivers. You let Allen Robinson go. You have Darnell Mooney and David Montgomery in the backfield. Congratulations. You have 2 weapons. You haven't protected your franchise quarterback. By the way, who has to go up against the Packers defense, which has a legitimate defensive front. Now the Lions defense that has a legitimate up-and-coming defensive front. And then, of course, Minnesota that have good edge rushers. Justin Fields, I'm telling you, Terry, look, I don't like wishing or, speaking bad things into existence.
But you think Justin
I'm not
Fields
an awful
gonna die.
human. I think Justin Fields is going to die by week 3, week 4. I think he will be dead. I think he'll be the first Ohio State quarterback drafted in the first round to die on the football field.
Okay.
Not that there was one before, but still.
No, that's rough. In other words, he's getting bad coaching and bad advice. No, last year they just threw him in the fire without protection, without weapons. So he looked bad.
If I'm doing sports talk in Chicago, all right, this is how I'm opening up the show every day from now till the GM is out and the head coach is out. Good morning, Chicago. Fuck our GM. Fuck our head coach.
They don't let you say that on radio. So,
and my problem with that is we have an up-and-coming quarterback. You supposedly believe in him. And what do you do in one offseason? You don't address the offensive line. You don't address wide receiver. You take a corner and a safety.
yeah,
and what do you do? What do you
sound like the Lions.
On top of that, you bring in a defensive-minded head coach to grow your second-year quarterback. 10 out of 10. Only the Lions. See, that is what the Lions were infamous for.
Okay, if somebody's listening from Chicago, can we send out Adam's resume to the
ready.
Chicago radio station?
I'm ready to go fight for Chicago Bears fans, even though I don't like the Chicago Bears.
You can't say what you say on radio. You
Yeah.
say, forget
about it.
Yeah, forget these guys.